It's the win. Listen, laugh, and learn and understand. Hope, believe that you can. It's the Women's Information Network. It's the win.
Welcome to the Win Show. We are so glad you joined us. I'm Paula Fellingham, CEO of the Women's Information Network, thewinonline.com. We're the online home for all women, all ages, a community of women helping women. Our hosts today are Heather Anderson. She's a runner-up for Miss USA. Laura Lee Christensen is the Executive Vice President of the Win. And Kim Coles is an actress, a comedian, and a speaker. Our guest today is Reverend Dr. Aliah Majon. She's the creator of Soul Technology, a never-been-done-before coaching program to teach people to communicate with their soul and develop the other half of their intelligence. Aliah's greatest passion is helping people to boldly integrate spirituality into their life and business goals. We're so glad you're here with us today.
Yeah, me too.
Yes,
I am
wonderful.
so happy to be here. Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Aliah and I have spent some time together, and I know she's not only a soulful woman, but it really does help you teach you how to get in touch with the soul. So your show is going to be part of the religious spirituality section of the, but this is more than just the traditional spirituality teachings.
Oh, way more.
Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Well, you know, let's think about it in this way. It's postmodern.
Okay.
Okay? That means that in the 21st century, we spent a lot of time on spirituality for the last 20, 30 years maybe.
We have.
This is beyond that. This is actually coming into a time and an age where we understand that we really are made up of body, mind, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And we know all the time what to do with our bodies. We exercise,
we
all
do.
those kinds of things. We eat right, right?
We
We know about our intelligence. We know about our minds, how to take care of it, you know, what to use it for, to analyze problems and to create and all those kinds of things. Do we know what to do with our spirit? Do we?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, do we? Do we know how it functions? Do we know how it operates? Do we know what it was designed to do for us?
And this is what you teach.
This is what I teach. And to put it simply, it's the other half of your intelligence.
So what does that mean when you say the other half? I mean, are we splitting something down the middle?
That sounds scary.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about this. Many of us, especially women, we love to partner, don't we?
We do.
Yes, we love to partner. And so when we partner, we love to have somebody who has skills that are different than ours, right? You know, it's kind of like partner with somebody who actually complements us because they do something different than what we do normally, right? So the soul actually is a partner to the brain, or the brain is a partner to the soul. That means, for example, all the time, you are receiving messages from the other half of your intelligence, and sometimes you don't recognize what they are. You have them happen, such as when you get a brainstorm idea, you're in the shower and something pops into your awareness, and you go like, wow, that's perfect, that's exactly what I need. That actually is your soul giving you those new ideas.
Interesting.
The thing about the brain is this, it's like a computer, and just like you program the brain, and you have to put something in it before you can get something out of it.
The computer.
Yes. The brain is like a computer. So we have lots of data that we put in our brains all the time. And the brain can actually cut and paste.
Okay.
It can mix things up.
I'll cut and paste some boyfriends.
It can cut and paste. But when we have brainstorm ideas, fresh ideas, things that have never been thought of before, like inventors, for example, they're usually connected to the other half of their intelligence in a very big way. Those virgin ideas come from the other half of your intelligence, and they work together. So what happens is that you get the brainstorm idea, but you need the brain to help you figure out how to implement that idea.
Okay.
Yes.
That is so interesting. How did you come to soul technology? What made you discover it, learn about it? What's your
all those kinds of, well, it's that's a long story, but let me give you the short version.
Reader's Digest version. Okay.
I would say that as a child, my parents and the adults around me used to say that you're an old soul. Have you heard that expression before? Okay. So what that meant is that I was always kind of fascinated by things that you couldn't see. And I'm an only child, and so I used to observe things all the time. And I started to sense something. It's hard to even talk about it sometimes, because we don't really have a language that's common to discuss it. But I began to understand that I would know something was going to happen. I would listen to the adults speak, and I'd think, wow, they're going to say such and such. And then I began to understand that this ability to know what was going to happen beforehand happened again and again and again. Not every time, but again and again and again. And so I became curious about, well, what is this? And then an incident happened. This is a story from my family, where my grandfather was actually having an altercation, if I can use that word, right? And I was very worried about it. And so I began to go inside, and when I was a child, I used to think about it as prayer, but it's not necessarily religious, but I would speak to the angels, and I'd go inside and say, can you help me? My grandfather is actually doing something that's scaring me. Please help. And I heard an answer. The answer that I heard was, it's all going to be okay. And what was fascinating was the answer was good. I wanted to hear that answer, but the fact that I heard it was what was really exciting.
Was it a thought or a voice?
I think that it processes differently for different people, okay? I think that for some people, it's probably a voice. For me, it's a voice. Okay. I'm a very auditory person. For other people, I think it could be a sense, like a feeling. I think it could be visions for other people as well.
Let me just say, so when we work with you, do we develop that sense and be able to tap into it and use it for good, hopefully?
Yes.
Is that what working with you does?
Absolutely. In fact, what we do is we identify how you do receive it.
Okay.
You get to practice. So you talk to me about what it is that happens in your life. And then I teach you exercises as to how to actually develop that, how to practice it like anything else. You have to do it over and over again. Like if you were playing a piano, you'd have to play it again and again.
You know, I think everybody actually has this. I think it's something that we're born with.
Everybody does
sort of learn how to recognize it. Like we have those thoughts and we have those feelings, but we dismiss them and say, oh, that's nothing, because then our brain takes over.
Well,
yes.
And
we've
always talked about
intuition,
women's intuition.
Yes.
I mean, is it essentially the same?
But everybody has it.
Part of it.
Men, women, children, everybody has it. All the human beings that I know have it. Yes. And it is women's intuition. It's like knowing something and you don't know how you know that. But soul technology is about being able to tap that and use it practically at will.
Interesting.
Okay?
So what are some of the real practical applications then, when you say use it practically?
Well,
that people are going to
yes, absolutely. That's important. Well, in terms of, for example, when you make decisions, you know how when there's a really important decision that we're going to make in life, all of us do that, right?
Yes.
And we're not sure. I mean, the brain weighs things. It's kind of a deductive reasoning. It's sort of like, well, if I do this, this is going to be the result. And if I do this, this is going to be the result. When you start to use the other half of your intelligence, what you do is you kind of ask for the right thing, and you wait to receive it because the soul doesn't deliberate. The other half of your intelligence, when it gives you the answer, it is the answer. And you've had those times. Have you not had those times in life?
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you ask the right thing? You're like, you have to ask the right thing. I'm thinking, well, what do I ask?
Yes.
What's the right thing? How do you know that?
Part of soul technology is actually looking at you as a person. You know, what are your values? What's important to you? Are you actually living your purpose? What's authentic for you? What's genuinely you? That's another half of soul technology. Because really, to be aligned, which is what soul technology is about, being aligned with spirit, being aligned with body, mind, and spirit, working as one system, you have to know about yourself. You have to know who you are.
So I want to go back to what you just said, because every major decision I've ever made, and with my husband too, we make the chart, the pros, the cons, and we list them all.
Yes.
And sometimes spend quite a bit of time getting into quite a bit of detail on that, but we rarely find the decision in the chart. After all of that
absolutely,
we say, okay, so what is the right thing to do? And that's what you're saying.
That's exactly it. It's exactly it. Our brain will give us what we put in. So the pros and cons are what you know about life. But life is an evolutionary journey. And so usually it's not going to be what you know already. The most wonderful things that happen in life is what you've never done before. Is that not correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yes.
You know, I feel like we have just touched the
We're going to have to watch your show to learn more.
Yes. This is the Soul Technology Show. You've got to listen to this and learn more. Oh, my goodness, the time went so fast, and we have loved being with you.
Oh, I've loved it, too. Thank you so much for having me.
You are very welcome, and we invite everyone to visit.
Oh, by the way, can I just share?
Yes, quickly.
Yes. Well, I believe in audio. I think that the voice is very important. And because I'm auditory, remember I told you that I receive auditorily? I love audio products. And so this is just a CD I wanted to show people.
It'll be on the Win store.
Wonderful.
On the Win store, you can purchase this CD, and it's actually called Journey to Discovery, Soul Technology.
All right. Nice. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we appreciate everyone coming and visiting with us today. We invite you to live joyfully with passion and purpose and have a wonderful day.
It's the Women's Information Network. It's the Win.